I'm going to call our special called work session meeting of the council to consider drawing a 10-district map. Calling meeting to order. Okay, so first order of business is the presentation of maps prepared by council and staff. Michelle Swindle is up to bat again.
Madam Mayor, if I may, we have a series of maps to present to the council. We'd like to ask first Councilmember Williams to describe his map. He has prepared a revised map from the one that he showed us at the work session 2 weeks ago. Then we'd like to ask Councilmember Moon to present his 3 maps. And then we understand that Councilmember Nettles has a map as well, which he may wish to describe. And then we'd like to ask Ms. Swindle if she would to describe what we have called the merger map. This is a merger of the Williams map and the Bluebonnet map that Councilor Moon had produced. And then the council is free to take as much time as you wish to modify that merger map. But the merger map was produced by staff in an attempt to find middle ground between Mr. Williams' map and Mr. Moon's Bluebonnet map that satisfies all of the criteria and also addresses comments from other council members, such as the inclusion of Garden of Eden in District 5 and the assignment of the Riverside community of interest to a single council district. All of those criteria are satisfied by the merger map. But I think we'd like to start by asking Councilmember Williams, if he would, to describe his proposed map and perhaps even a variation that he's prepared to share with us.
Can I just ask, are these on in our Dropbox? Okay. Can we, okay. If we can get paper ones too, or someone upload them.
Yeah, I just asked for paper. Something.
It's a Dropbox.
You just now did? Okay. Alternate. Yep. Opening now. I would say there's not a PDF version of this, not yet. Okay, so this is the alternate version for Councilmember Williams, version 3.
We can start with the first one and then work our way to this one.
Okay. So here's version 3.
Alrighty, so I'll go ahead and jump in here. Just for context for folks who may be joining this conversation, the intention of the map that I submitted was really to, one, honor the growth up north by creating the 2 new districts that you see on this map, District 10 and 11, and then to ensure that we also honor the growing diversity and the growth of our city in large for the next decade. And so with that, after last work session, we made some modifications. Specifically, the Riverside Alliance had mentioned they had sent us a formal letter identifying their individual neighborhoods of interest or communities of interest as one alliance. And so we made that modification to the District 4 here. To make that change, we had to make some modifications to 11 and 10 up north, which you see there. And then lastly, that change also affected District 7 with Sunset and Alamo Heights being in District 7. It was originally in District 9. And then if you scroll southeast, originally we had Miller Avenue as the boundary between 8 and 5. I have an alternate version that maintains that. The line on the southeast is due to communities of interest and trying to make sure that we're considering all of our priorities while also still meeting the criteria for the map being accepted. So that's pretty much the significant changes based on the conversations, the robust conversation that we had as a council. If I can show the alternate plan just to kind of give a look.
Do you want to have them side by side?
You could do that too, that's fine. Alternate one. So this one's C.M. Williams, alternate one. No, I didn't name
Not
it after
everybody
the.
stays up all night and comes up with names, armadillo.
No, I love our state's flora and fauna. So, you know, I really appreciate you
point. I'm
naming
surprised it wasn't
Mockingbird.
you.
Yeah, right. Maybe I'm rubbing off on Councilmember Moon a little bit. This is the alternate version. It's pretty much the same. The only so in order to make Miller the major boundary between 5 and 8, we had to bump down the northern boundary of District 5 from Lancaster down to, I can't remember the next road. If you zoom in, you can see it. That was the most efficient way to like do that and also maintain communities of interest. So that's the only difference between this one and the last map. And then if you go down to the south, between 8 and 9, right there, where you see 632, I forget the community of interest right now. I'm losing the name. There's a community of interest in that block.
Wasn't that Echo Park?
No, not Echo. Not just south of Echo Lake. Blame it on the concussions from football. My short-term memory sometimes escapes me. Yes. Scroll down, please, just a little bit. Right there, that block.
The community is Oak Ridge Terrace.
Oak Ridge Terrace, there it is. So that's one of the changes between the two maps. I will say from a demographics perspective, it doesn't really shift the demographics dramatically. However, I will note in this map, District 8 and 9, the Latino population goes up a bit. So, but that, pretty much the same as the last map, with the exception of a lot of the great conversation that we had helped inform some of these modifications.
Can we see the boundaries at the 30, the top of the map, where Lancaster is?
Do you want me to keep zooming in?
Please. I mean, I'm like, Michael, I can't see.
This one's Lancaster.
Okay.
And then down here is Rosedale. And Rosedale is the north boundary for District 8.
That's Rosedale right there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And here's Vickery and the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
Is there,
That.
do you have any changes, Chris?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm looking at that carve out. You see how is that?
This one?
Can you scroll in right there?
To which,
Is that 287? Oh,
sorry.
where District 9 kind of comes out. If you could go out a little west. Okay, so is there a reason why we don't just call Vickery the border all the way down if we're trying to find our major arterials and whatnot? That's not going to mess with anything, is it?
I think Vickery should be. I mean, because, well, go ahead.
No, I mean, that's one of the things that we're trying to do is pick major boundaries and roads to identify instead of cutting out, blocks and whatnot. So if that doesn't have a massive impact or doesn't cut into a community of interest or a neighborhood, I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, I would kind of agree because there is quite a bit of development that's happened at the Evans and Rosedale, and I don't think it should be represented by two different people. Because it look like 8 will have the south part of Rosedale, and 4 will have the north part.
My concern is that we start drawing maps like we did last session.
Yeah, we got it, that's true.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
helpful
And so I
feedback,
think
and then
we
we'll
just
just go to
take
Carrie.
notes and take it back to the drawing board if we need to, because you move one little sliver, it impacts everything else. We got to go fix that. We spend an hour and a half on it again.
Fair enough. But I think we're gonna have to vote on one map today. Is that correct?
Yeah, but maybe this helps. This is a good point from Chris's perspective about Evans and Rosedale specifically, not splitting it into two districts.
And we always
We
have
could
the
offer
option-
up the changes too, and then we could go back.
Exactly.
And
We're
make
fine.
the changes, just making those suggestions, we can go back.
Yeah, because this is just, we're still kind of just choosing the foundation map, and then we
And
can
we're just sending
still
it over for them to
tweak it.
consider. Exactly, yeah.
Sorry, I had to take a critical call, but I'm looking at the Williams maps again. Just bear me that courtesy, if you will. I saw you had Miller as my western boundary, which I'm very comfortable with. The south, I envision being 287. Is that what you're keeping as the southern boundary?
Yes, that's correct.
And so how far north?
It goes north to, is that Rosedale, Michelle? And then all the way north, 820, everything east of 820.
So Rosedale again is I feel the same way Chris does.
Or Lancaster, I'm sorry.
Okay, I can go Lancaster.
Lancaster, I'm sorry.
What about Garden of Eden?
This one does
Okay.
not include Garden of Eden.
Okay. I reserve comments.
Any other high-level comments for this map as we move to Councilmember Moon's maps?
For the full area.
Gene, I just want to be clear, 287 is not the southern boundary with this map.
I think there are some, I think there are some neighborhoods around 287 that default to District 8 for community convening, camaraderie.
Yeah, and we can definitely take a look back at that on this map. The challenge is making that big of a change is a ripple effect across the map. So we can figure that out.
Okay. Are y'all good to move to Carrie's first map? Okay, let's do that.
Did you want to start with Armadillo or?
Is the process to compare
Well, we have
map
one map
that's
already that's
similar-
late.
that's similar to this, and then show how staff kind of,
They've got one staff layered map, if you want to look at it first. It compares your last one to Williams. Is that your preference?
yeah.
Okay, let's do that then.
Is there a particular section you want to look at first, or you want to look at the demographics, or just the overview?
Is this the combined, like layered on top so you can kind of see? So you've taken both maps and made changes? Okay,
Correct.
then let's, yeah, good question. We want to go district by district.
I think really the difference is going to be 2 and 4 and how that's changed up some. I think there'll be a lot of similarities within moving district lines of a few blocks of each other. This is y'all's combined map, correct?
Correct. Staff created this map, yes.
I'm curious on 4, how it intersects with 5 right there. If you can zoom in.
So that's where we move the Birdville ISD, go south, move the Birdville ISD into District 5.
Okay.
There's no population there, with the exception of Garden of Eden that has about 250 folks. And then, but that's all the commercial that goes into Birdville ISD, crosses 820 and goes to Trinity Lakes. That's all Birdville ISD, and so we're trying to retain that there. That's why that looks like that.
And it keeps 2 historic African-American communities in the same district.
Scroll down. Any reactions as she scrolls down 9, 8, folks?
Yes. A couple of, observation and go back to what we talked about last week. District 8, with the opportunity to grow in the next 10 years, the number seems pretty low versus 10 and 11 where we had the major growth or much higher. It looks like, what is that north boundary for 8? Was that Rosedale again?
Thanks.
Yeah, that's Rosedale. I think if we can adjust that back to the southern, to Lancaster, and then give 4 some of District 11, I think that would help on District 8 perspective of staying in line with keeping Rosedale and Evans together, as well as the numbers in the next 10 years.
A little bit, yeah. So Chris, high level though, so you're saying population and growth is a concern for you, and then also that boundary of Lancaster is something,
Well, the boundary of Rosedale.
Rosedale.
Yeah,
Thank you, okay.
because the development that's coming to Rosedale is north of where this boundary is now.
Okay.
Do you have general boundaries of that development so that we can make sure that any proposed maps
I
already
think-
have that?
Well, I think it would be fair to go up to Vickery, like you mentioned, if that doesn't make a major change. But if it needs to go back up to Lancaster, that's fine as well. But Vickery is right there. That will keep that development together, and also would keep Texas Westland, because Texas Westland is having development that's happening too, that District 8 is partnering with them on.
Both sides.
Michelle, I guess maybe I'm not finding it. What is the name of the map we're looking at the screen right now?
This one is called Staff Plan. I
This
thought
is
it
the merger
was-
map that we discussed earlier today.
Is it in a shared folder? They're looking in their
I'm trying to find it.
software.
No,
It's on
I looked there
Dropbox.
already. Yeah.
All right, apparently. It's not the owner. I will put this up there.
Once she gets that saved, any reaction from you, Elizabeth? I know you can't see it right this second, but just curious if you had any thoughts once she's done saving here.
No, I don't think so. I think from a district perspective, downtown, ensuring that we are continuing the movement of downtown and containing it in one council district. There's some discussion as to including that on the east side of 35, so that we're no longer as a city drawing lines up and down
On the
35,
highway.
east and west. And then also the synergy between downtown and the medical district. I think it's very, very important to keep those in a cohesive district for a myriad of reasons.
You got zoom out. Or,
And I think that map does it.
Does it, yeah.
It draws downtown east of 35, so that we can not just say that we're doing it, but we can start to quite literally shape the lines of how we do it.
okay. Thank you. Anyone else want to take their turn and react?
I
Can't
have
really
some
see.
comments about how District 6 lines are on this
Okay,
one.
go for it, Jared. You want to go to District 6?
So one of like the concerns I see with the way District 6 is drawn as is it separates a couple communities of interest. I think the District 6 line, when you think of like Tavola Park, Summer Creek Ranch, all the Summer Creek neighborhoods, many of those families send their children, for example, to North Crowley High School, which also is an affinity that a lot of residents have in that heart of District 6. Yeah, so just to give geographic context, yeah, right there, that block, the block to the right, and all that blue down there, they have more, the residents there have more affinity to the residents on the other side of Chisholm. You wouldn't know that based on just looking at the map, but there are some neighborhoods, communities of interest, and neighborhood organizations that, although they didn't register as a community of interest, they are definitely communities of interest. And so I just want to note that this dramatically changes representation for the communities in Southwest Fort Worth.
Curious where they. So, did you have a recommendation for
Yeah,
where?
I think everything south of, I guess it's Alta Mesa and Chisholm Trail should be in one district.
And then how should that be adjusted up north? Would that swap this section for the other?
Yeah, that's the challenge with the merger map. You can't do it with that, yeah.
Okay. Very helpful feedback, though. Michelle, we can wait on you. I know you're making notes, so. Okay, more reactions from Council Crane. You're at 3 right there.
Hello. As we just discussed, I think once you start tweaking that there, then he's already, I think the numbers are about 95,000. It's like, that 95, 96, but I don't know the numbers there, but you start tweaking that to do what Councilman Williams is saying is good for District 6, then there's other pieces that have to be given up, I would say. But I know all that other green in the north is a community of interest. They've all registered. So again, I said maybe the task force can figure it out, but.
I don't think it's an even swap with numbers to swap the north with the south of Alta Mesa.
Yeah. Yeah, because most of that's, even that part is commercial, Hewlin Mall, et cetera.
Well, and also a lot of this down to Willow Park, they didn't get counted with the census because they're too new.
Yeah.
They were moved in after, so
Yeah.
it just wouldn't be reflected in the current numbers.
And I would bet, I don't see the rest of the numbers, but I would bet District 3 is on the lower end of the numbers right now.
Correct.
But that would help equate for some of the growth we know is going to happen outside of 820 over the next decade, so.
3 and 7 are the lowest.
Yeah.
Oh, in District 2.
Oh, I actually think population-wise, that map really does, more so than we've seen the other maps, account for future growth and keeping it as equal as possible over the next 10 years.
Can you walk us through the demographics on this map as well?
Say that again? Sorry, I apologize.
Walk us through the demographics of the districts.
Yes.
Thank you.
So,
Once we do this, maybe council will move to Carrie's first new map. Do you want to do that next?
We can
Gary?
actually move there. I'll take back my question.
I actually have
time.
one too. Mayor, I have a map that is basically aligned with both of those maps with some of the tweaks and adjustments that we talked about earlier.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, it's on the website. I believe it's CM Nettles, Carrie.
Nettles 2.
Nettles 2.
Well, Nettles 2 was adjusted today.
I don't know if that's the one. Let me see. How do I see which one I'm on? No, it's gonna be the CM Nettles.
Oh, I apologize.
That's okay.
Sorry, I thought that I closed that window. Yeah. Apologize. And it was just CM Nettles? That's the one that was opening. I thought that I did. Okay. So this is CM Nettles. Is there a specific section you want to start with, or?
Is there anything you wanted to point out, Chris, about your thought process?
Well, the thought process was doing the process of keeping the community of interest together. Also, looking at Jared's map and Moon's map to kind of overlay some lines that were drawn too far. And so here, it does meet all the criteria. I'm not sure if District 5 has that. It doesn't have it in there. It doesn't have that part of it in there. But I think, does it address the District 6 issue that you had on the original map? I think it addresses District 6 issue on the last compromise map. It addresses the Rosedale and Evans issue, as well as I think one of the maps has a Circle Drive issue, addressed that. District 9 still comes over 35, and it also addresses the Riverside issue, keeping those neighbors together. So I don't know if anybody else want to look at another piece of the districts. I'm not sure if it addresses the Las Vegas Trail on the District 3. Does it?
Yes,
Okay,
it does.
Okay, look like it addressed that.
Okay. Any reactions to Chris's map? No?
What's, see here, while I'm trying to zoom in. On the tip of District 9, there's a little segment that's, can we zoom in on that?
Mm-hmm.
Go north.
Oh, sorry.
No more. Okay, right around there, zoom in on that curved section. Yes. What is that pink area that's,
I think it's the floodplain. I don't think there's any oh, there's 19. Looks like there is
Samuels.
population.
It's off of Samuels.
it's right here.
That's just a sliver. It's just
Right, I'm just wondering what that is. What's in there?
floodplain for the Trinity River, the levees.
I was just wondering why it's like that.
I guess there might be a housing complex there. Because there's 19 people who live there in that block.
19?
The new apartments
Okay.
on the Trinity River
Okay.
off of Northside Drive.
Okay.
And I think it's kind of drawn like that because you have the community of interest over here to the left, but not for sure.
Not
I
right.
can turn those on.
On the other side of 35.
Are those,
Yeah.
So yes, there is a community of interest that includes this area. This one? Oh, you're right.
Just a new area.
You're correct. It doesn't include that. So that sliver can be aligned to District 2.
It does or does not include them? What did you say?
It is not included in a current community of interest now.
Okay. Any other reactions to this? We'll go to Carrie's new armadillo map. Is that what we're doing?
And this map does meet all the qualifications.
Staff has not had a chance to review it
Okay.
yet.
Good deal.
Thank you. Okay, armadillo. Yeah, go drive. I'm sure Michelle won't mind.
All right, so which one are we on?
This is armadillo. This is the revised to get rid of slivers.
All right, so we'll start with this one. Really what I'll point out is, trying to draw lines cleanly where we can. You're going to see in other maps, and mine were guilty of this as well, just having slivers or not having, straight lines, and you can't get away from it entirely. Sometimes it's easy to follow a railroad track or a road or a creek, and sometimes it's impossible because of the way the precinct line is drawn with the county. But for this specific map, it's good with District 6, the boundaries here. This area could easily be put over into that, into District 6, as there's not much population here. This incorporates most of Crowley ISD, with the Chisholm Trail Parkway being the boundary. It incorporates then Burleson ISD coming down. This is Everman ISD here. It incorporates Hallmark, which is a community of interest on the west portion being in Crowley ISD, but the east portion of Hallmark being in Everman ISD. And then it just follows a good boundary, which is I-35W going north. Here, I believe this is Berry Street. Is that right? Where's that Rosedale? Oh, that's Rose. That's Berry. Or is that Allen?
That would be Rosedale.
Okay, Rosedale.
That's Rosedale, Carrie.
Okay, thank you. And then Miller up here to 35. Everything south of 287 inside the loop is District 8, obviously preserving Lake Arlington and the work that's been done there for District 5 for District 5. Another example of Birdville ISD coming over, not much population here, but Birdville ISD stretches over into this area. I think this right here should also be Birdville ISD. And that is also possibly, yeah, that should be Birdville ISD.
Yep, that section of Garden of Eden.
Yeah, here we have Bonnie Bray, Oakhurst, Carter Riverside in one district, leading into, tying into a new district here, District 11, with, along with mostly Eagle Mountain ISD.
Hey, Carrie, does that keep the Riverside Alliance? Do you have that, Matt?
Say that again?
Does that keep the Riverside Alliance who've reached out to all of
Yes.
us about, okay.
Yep. So you've got Oakhurst, this area, Carter Riverside, and then Bonnie Bray in that area. I'm sorry, I'm further south, too far south.
It's on there. Bonnie Bray isn't there, yeah.
Let me do this. Up here, you've got clean roads for the most part where the precincts allow it. I-35, Golden Triangle, Western Center. This is mostly Keller and Northwest ISD. I'll talk about some of the MMA and super MMA districts areas on the next map. This map, District 7, includes a portion of the existing district along Eagle Mountain Lake. Obviously, District 7's done a lot of work, a lot of history with Lake Worth as well, and Eagle Mountain Lake, so it ties that in. District 2 comes up and gets a portion of Lake Worth ISD in this area here, and then District 7 and 3 where they connect along I-30. But what this map does, just at a high level, is clean here, clean along I-30. The two previous maps had some changeover between District 7 and 3 inside the loop along I-30. Everything south of 287 inside the loop here is District 5, and then maintains Oakhurst, Carter, Riverside together here, and then allows Hallmark to stay in District 8.
Carrie?
Okay.
I have one question.
Sure.
District 9, all the other maps, that hook that comes in the northern part of the district, and that one doesn't, and that northern hook's there because it's a community of interest. And so I guess and I'm not sure on that map, does it keep that together, just shifts that to District 2, or does it slice that community of interest?
This is not a community of interest.
No, right, yeah, no, he's up there, up in where the little
No, you're talking.
squid-looking thing. No, I'm talking right there, he had his, yeah. Weren't we keeping that together in previous maps because they had identified as a community of interest?
No.
I think if there's anything that redistricting has taught us is that Carrie really wants to be a professor, a demographics professor one day.
I'm just going to go to the details on this since it was asked
we're
on the
good.
last map as well. So what's it identified as?
I say it is a community of interest. Go to the create.
Go ahead.
Does that split downtown in Districts 9 and District 2?
Fort Worth Downtown Neighborhood Alliance.
Okay. Belknap, I believe, is the difference.
Right, there's the Neighborhood Alliance, but then there's the Central Business District, which are probably two distinct things when we're talking about downtown. And either way, both of those should be kept in the same district. And it looks like we are splitting the northeastern portion of downtown and putting it in District 2.
It's easy to do because in this map, District 9's population is about 93,000. So it could be added.
I think it's really important to keep that, keep both the Neighborhood Alliance and the Central Business District together in whichever district.
Questions on that map? Go to the other one.
Any other questions for this map? Anything you want to see from Carrie? No? No? Go ahead, Gina.
It did get a thumbs up from Brenda Wise, Brenda Sanders Wise, who's
She's
watching.
watching, okay, good deal. Okay.
Hi, Brenda. You should stop watching before I go to the next map. So again, just summarize, I think I demonstrated some of the clean lines in the map. And streets do serve as good boundaries and separations for neighborhoods. All right, so go to,
Wait a minute, before we go to the next, are you going to transition to another map right now, Carrie?
I can go back to yours.
Okay, I just want to see the demographic data.
I feel like a summary, and I don't know how quick staff could do it before we vote, of how many neighborhoods, how many districts are supermajority, minority areas, and how many are majority minority areas, because that's going to tie into how we vote. Most maps are at least 6, if not 7 MMAs. Most maps have 3 SMMAs. And the minority opportunity districts, we have to have the law firm tell us that. And I don't think we've gotten those opinions back on the areas for minority opportunity districts. Is that correct?
Well, true, and, you know, the law firm has to weigh in, but so far what I'm seeing is that, you know, I'm trying to digest all this and all the iterations that we're doing on the fly. You have District 2 coming in as the strong, you know, Hispanic opportunity district. The others are weaker at best. And, you know, again, I'm not an attorney, but a law firm would look at that.
And just to give context to this map, south where Riverside is, and I think it has a piece of historical South Side, and you go all the way across to Saginaw, that area. I just think the demographics and the representation is completely not together. I think people are gonna lose representation in District 11, in this map, just my opinion.
And I think you can make the same argument in the prior maps where it draws Park Glen into Meadowbrook. You know, we're going to have that argument every time, one way or the other. Okay, we on. Let's go to Mockingbird. Carlos, any questions on the demographics for? Do your percentages. Okay, so none of these qualify for super or for the
Super. District 8 would be a super.
Okay.
So 2 and 8 would be super.
What
Because your
about
white
5?
percentage, yep.
5 is super. So 3 supermajority here.
3 or 2?
3
3.
and
5 counts, okay.
6 MMAs.
Yes, more than 50.
2 is 4.
No. Because 52%.
Okay,
So District 2,
so
5, 6,
2, 5, 6, 8,
9,
9,
and 11.
and 11 are all MMAs. I mean, is that 6?
And again, to further clarify, I'm not just looking at the mere percentages, but also the voting age population percentages.
Okay. I did not turn on voting. Let me go back to that.
Make it show percentages as opposed to numbers.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, is that part of the criteria that we set out? Is it voting age population or just overall population has to be within a certain range?
By definition, it's just the population.
The actual population? Yeah, I didn't know.
There's,
It is just total population. The only time voting age population comes into play is when you're looking at that analysis for minority opportunity district.
Any more on demographics? Okay. So we've seen Williams, we've seen staff combined, we've seen Carey, Armadillo. Do you want to show us Mockingbird 2 or whatever you're calling it?
Yeah.
Coyote?
Cody's dead.
Coyote died, okay.
That's not it.
Roadrunner got him.
You want to try your revised remove slivers. Yep. And this is just what I've tried to do here is stay more in lines with school district boundaries. A larger change you'll see here with District 7 in that it is bringing in the Castleberry and Lake Worth ISD. This is your Lake Worth ISD boundary through here. It actually makes District 7 a MMA district. And what's unique about District 1 is it also becomes an MMA district. There's a good population, about 10,000 folks, Asian in demographic in District 11, and so makes this an MMA district as well. We lose a little bit of the clean lines right here along Chisholm Trail Parkway. And we lost Hallmark to District 6. Deer Creek is your separator here to the south, a little bit of Burleson ISD for some growth down here in District 8. Majority of Burleson ISD is in District 6 or remains in District 6. Same separation with District 5, everything with your close to the lake, around Lake Arlington. We did lose the Birdville ISD, but again, there's no population here. This could be drawn over. 4 is half of Keller ISD, and then the rest of Northwest ISD and Keller ISD. Again, just clean lines, well drawn in this. And District 9, kind of similar, north boundary, University, Granbury, Alta Mesa. So that's really it. But I think once we get the MMA data and the SMA data per map, that'll further help us make those decisions.
Ask it before Chris, where's the northern boundary for 8?
Hey, Carrie, in that iteration right there, indicate where the Central City River project is in District 2.
Okay. Still Rosedale, right, Chris? Okay. And then Central City River District project, is that TRVA? So here's your river. Again, not much population here. This could be easily drawn into District 9.
Right, and right now, as far as the plan, for the TRVA, it's in flux, but, there is potential for growth, there with multifamily. We're already seeing that happening.
Okay.
Okay.
Very helpful. Any reaction else for Carrie? Professor Moon, well done. Okay, so our goal today was to decide on a map. Yeah. Well, we're making it closer here, right? So, because we need to wait on confirmation from our outside counsel on some of these MMA and SMA. Is that correct? I'm looking at Leanne to make sure that's correct.
They have not had a chance to look at all of the maps. yet.
And hearing today, that's an important factor for council to consider before we give a foundation map. Okay. So maybe we wait to get that done in the next few days. Second would be, I think all of us want to see a breakdown of demographic information, all these maps. Michelle, for your sanity, maybe it would be that first map we went over that was a combined effort by staff to take those two. And then William's map today that he went over, which was helpful. Go ahead, Jared.
Can I suggest the one with Nettles amendments?
Yeah, and I was going to get to, so
Well,
go ahead.
his over mine.
His over yours, so you
The
don't-
one with the amendments, basically,
He made the amendments.
that we were talking about, so
Okay.
we don't even need to look at the ones I presented today, because
Okay,
he included them.
so that would be Nettles map, goes through staff, checks that out, sends that back to us with demographic information. And then,
There's two pieces of it. One is a very easy calculation.
Mm-hmm.
The numbers are, the percentages are there. And then what's the more difficult piece, and I don't know how difficult it is, but it's done by the firm that y'all have hired. And that's reviewing to see if something qualifies for minority opportunity districts.
right,
So that's really the
The
time.
bigger things.
The time sensitive. I don't know how much time that would take to do those for 5 maps.
how long do you think, Leanne, it takes for them to look at those?
They definitely need a few days.
Okay. Real quickly, though, before I move on, of Councilmember Moon's maps, do we want to see information as to Armadillo and Mockingbird today? Or was there one reaction over the others that,
I prefer Mockingbird, of course. It looks weird on a map, but it works. That's my preference.
what were you going to say, Elizabeth?
Armadillo is the first one we looked at.
Yes.
So for me, Armadillo keeps downtown altogether, so. And Mockingbird is the one that sliced it up. Okay.
So in other words, Armadillo could be correct as long as we go back in, because it's not a lot of population. It could go back in. Okay. So maybe we make that change and go back to Armadillo as the map we're looking at. Sorry.
Mockingbird?
Does it give Garden of Eden to 5?
Yes. What would we say? Just do both. Okay. Does that work for you, Michelle, sending us that information? And then hopefully, council, we can vote and send this is just a foundational map. Oh, reiterate that. This is just our first chance to send it back to their districting task force as our version that they want them to consider. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds great. Can I ask that either this put in our Dropbox or I was given hard copies? Because
Crane would really like
Yes.
this in a PDF.
somewhere I can see it,
in
hard,
his
whatever,
Dropbox.
because this is all great.
Because he
But
doesn't know how to log in to their districting
that is
software.
true, and I'm not going to
He's
do that.
not the only one.
Okay.
Well, like they did, the presentation today was pretty good.
Yes,
If it can be in the presentation like they did today.
that'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. How are we feeling, council? Does that look like a good process moving us forward? Yes?
As long as
And
you
that-
guys have District 8's northern boundary, Rosedale, I think you'll have peace in the valley, but if you show
Peace in the valley, that is the goal.
something else.
And that's the 9th, my birthday, so we'll make sure we vote on this on my birthday.
So
Perfect.
we do
I already
do
have
need
your
to have-
birthday on my
Madam-
calendar.
Leanne's got
Mayor.
something.
We do
Madam
need to.
Mayor, I'm sorry, as a reminder, according to the procedures the council has adopted, you must provide 10 days notice of any map drawing session.
So I don't think we're gonna draw any more maps. We're just gonna examine this and then we'll do a motion. We'll figure that with legal on the motion. They're not gonna draw any maps.
We could meet,
Yeah.
we could schedule you all a special meeting on the 16th, which is still before the next task force meeting.
Okay, we'll
So-
work on that offline, but I hear you, yeah. We're not, I don't think we're doing this again. I think we're gonna take what we've considered, look at the demographics, make a decision, and hopefully pass it out on the 9th.
So you
Good.
will select one of the maps that
Yes.
you've identified.
Yes.
And just to recap, you've identified the merger map, which is the Williams and Bluebonnet, with the staff modifications.
Yeah,
You've identified the Williams map with the Nettles revisions,
which is really Nettles map, right? Yeah, both a carry. So really it's 4.
and then Mockingbird and Armadillo.
And Armadillo, yes. With demographic, yes.
We will provide you with, if possible, 4 fact sheets that contain a map, the pertinent demographic data, an analysis of the extent to which they satisfy the adopted criteria, minority opportunity districts as assessed by our outside counsel. I believe Mr. Carey suggested that we look at MMAs and SMMAs. And we provide this information to all council members in the Dropbox and by hard copy.
Perfect.
Would it be possible to include a Spanish surname voting age population. as
We'll
well
provide
as
data on Spanish surnamed
age.
voters, voter registration, and voter participation.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, council, great job. So we're gonna adjourn this meeting and then do work session or just keep going?
Mayor, I do have just one more question. What is the message to the public from what we've done here today in terms of what's next in store for them? How do they engage? from
Well,
this
I think,
point?
any commentary they had from watching today's session, they could probably provide to each council member. You're each going to have an opportunity to look at each map, consider it on behalf of your constituents and all of Fort Worth, really. And then we're not going to do this again openly. Everybody has to kind of consider these separately. And then on the 9th, I hope what we get to is a motion. There may be, Olive Garden apparently is, sorry. No, it does not sound good. I turn that off. Is at this point then to vote on the 9th on one map. And I think legal will work with us. There may be competing motions. We may have one. That's part of the process. But again, to reiterate to constituents, they can absolutely still work on their own version of maps, working with their districting task force, because they're going to be going through as appropriate all these maps. This is just our foundational map, and we attempted to do this in the open, because this is the way it should be done. Good? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Can I make a comment? And I'm sure that I'm not the only council person that's experiencing this, but we adopted a resolution to make this as transparent as we possibly could so that all conversations between us here on council, between us and the citizens, between anyone that's interested in this process be on the record, out in the open. So to that end, I am not interested in hearing anyone's proposed maps outside of what you would like to put on the record. Make your map, submit it, so that we can keep this as transparent as possible. And I'm pretty sure I can speak for everyone else here.
Let's keep it the way it's been. We've done a great job. Yes. Okay, good. I'm closing this meeting.